Hello, everybody, and welcome to your 444 Portal Tarot reading. This is a powerful time. This portal is very significant. This is like stepping into the new world. And over the next 6 years, we are anchoring down these beautiful light codes of the Aquarian age and making them the new foundation. And between now and 2026, we are creating a whole new world. The Great Awakening begins. And, people who don't consider themselves spiritual or anything like that, they're going to have an awakening. Many people are, not everybody, because, not everybody is here for that. And that's a whole different video. But though many people are going to start awakening, and it's going to be spiritually, but it's also going to be where people are going to start seeing the corruption of the system, right? And in that space, that's where there's, going to be a lot of pushing and pulling, a lot of shifting and changing. So even though we are in an exciting time, we are stepping into the new world, this Aquarian age energy finally anchoring firmly into our current experience. That's going to cause a lot of changes, a lot of chaos, a lot of things being torn down, a lot of things being exposed. And for you personally, you're going to start realizing as you move further into 2020 that you're remembering the past differently. And it's not that things or events have changed. It's your perception and your emotion about your past and your journey that's really shifting inside of you in a very positive sense. All right, coming into a place of empowerment. And for me, what Spirit has shown me, I know there's so much more that goes into this, but for me, Spirit has shown this portal being highly connected to Saturn moving into Aquarius between now and March 2023. And then when Saturn moves into Pisces from 2023 to 2026, completing a big cycle in, the human evolution process. And it's just going to be a time where there's a lot of crazy changes, but it's for the good. So let's pull some cards. And also, I left a definition in the description box below about the number 4, and it comes from the book Numbers, Their Meaning in Magic. And everything that's written about the number 4 from that book is exactly what this 444 portal is about, at least what Spirit has been showing me. So I highly recommend you read it. It's like a few paragraphs, but it's a very interesting take on the energy of number 4 that I've never really read or been educated by anybody else. So it's, some of you may already know it. For me, it was brand new information. And again, it just coincides with this 444 portal energy. And what do we have here? Conquering fear. Start today. So the archangels coming in very strongly to work with everybody and help them through this process. And also with conquering fear, that would be Spirit saying, through all the different changes, shifting and turning that's going to take place worldwide over these next 6 years, have no fear. Like, we're stepping into the age of light, and that just means it's a more awakened and aware experience for all those who are currently on the earth plane at this time. It would be a much different energy, much different reality than what we know today. Next is authentic self. Who are you? And see, that's where the energy of you remembering the past differently is coming into play as Saturn moves through Aquarius through 2020. You're just going to realize all the different setbacks and heartaches and everything that you considered bad or hard is like what shaped you, what turned you into this wise being, what created the steps for you to have this beautiful awakening and to become part of like the new world, the new earth, the new energy, opposed to hanging out in those old paradigms. Because I do believe that by 2026, a lot of the old paradigms have shifted, but, maybe there's still some residual through every age. But this, you're going to see yourself as a different person, and you're going to see your life journey and everything you've been through from a much different perspective, and you feel strong and wise in it. And now we have the void, retreat, rest, and pause. This here, I think, is kind of symbolic to the energy when when Saturn moves into Pisces in March 2023 through March 2026, like that's the void. That's when things get really intense, and like the old paradigms that are really resisting the shift and the change, like that's when everything truly gets exposed. I feel there's a lot of exposure and truth coming to light over, from March 2020 to March 2023. But when we get from 2023 to 2026, that is the huge game changer. So right now we step through this 444 portal, which coincides with this next 3 years, and it's all about the great awakening in each and every person who's intended to be a part of that light, that awakening journey, to elevate the consciousness of humanity, as well as Gaia herself, into a different frequency of being, because in that different frequency certain shadow energies cannot exist. Okay, it doesn't mean that that's all washed away, but the secrecy, the deception, just all the corruption of the system, a lot of that's going to dissolve. Okay, and then when we go into that 2023 to 2026 phase, as Saturn's moving through Pisces, that's like the great cleanse and purge. Okay, so this 444 portal is the great awakening. When Saturn's about to hit Pisces, that portal is the great purge. Okay, and that's why it's coming through as the void. And again, Spirit does not want you to have any fear in your heart, because if you're watching this, you're meant to be part of that great awakening, or you've already had your awakening process, and this is just a big enhancement of your consciousness, of what you already know, and different things clicking into understanding. And I'll tell you, for me personally, I've had a lot of that recently, just normal everyday life details that have been going on in my life for like the last 8 years, and then I'm thinking about where I'm at today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh wow, and it just all connects. And that same thing's going to happen for you guys, if it's not already, where you are seeing different things that have played out in your every day seem so subtle, seem like background noise, but now here you are, and you understand like the purpose and just how everything interconnects to each other. It's the great awakening. All right, let's pull some more cards. Oh, and also, it's in March or April of 2026 when Saturn moves into Aries. Aries is the first house, the start of the zodiac, and that's going to be brand new energy coming in, because we are in the Aquarian age, but there's still a lot of that the paradigm of the Piscean age, that energy, which was a bit dark. Okay, I mean, Pisces energy can be incredibly spiritual, but it's also incredibly oppressive, and I'm a Pisces, so I could speak firsthand what it's like to be a Pisces. So once we get through that energy, we move into Aries, and that's when like we start all the Aquarian age, really all the light codes of the Aquarian age really anchoring down into the earth plane, kind of dissolving the residual Piscean energy, because it was a very secretive, oppressive like age of humanity. If you just look back on the last 2,000 years up to this point, you'll see what I'm talking about. And now we're moving in with the age of Aquarius, which has already begun, but we're like in that phase, where we're dissolving out of the old and moving into the new. It's like that kind of cusp energy, and it's just going to take some time. And over these next 6 years, those Aquarian age energies, light codes, are really anchoring into the earth plane, and many of you are vessels to receive them, especially those of you who identify as starseed or light worker. All right, we have seek the wisdom of your shamanic guides, and defend what is dear to you. So right here, this is the Great Awakening taking place in you, and Spirit is telling you to call upon your spirit guides and the archangels over these next 6 years through every process. Like anytime that you feel that you are afraid or you're in a place of worry, pull yourself back, pull your energy back, and reach out to the angels, reach out to your spirit guides, because they're telling you, those who are watching this reading, you're going to move through this energy just fine. You are a part of this great awakening, which means you are here to hold these Aquarian light codes and help usher in the new earth, the new frequency, the new experience, the new reality of earth, you know, in those higher vibrations, out of that Piscean energy. And, you know, it's going to be over the next 6 years, and then when Saturn moves into Aries, that first house, it's like that's when the whole new paradigm begins. All right, let's pull some cards. Nine of Intuition, Five of Intuition, Eight of Lessons, Intuition Mentor. Wow, many of you are awakening to spiritual gifts, because looky, Intuition, Intuition Mentor, and Eight of Lessons. That's like you've been through some hard stuff, and that stuff, like you feel kind of like you're anchored down to it. This is the stuff where you're going to start seeing it differently over these next 3 years, especially through 2020. And lastly, we have a Manifestations Mentor. Wow. So we've got two mentors coming through, and you know what? I'm looking at my battery. I did not change my battery before I did this reading. I'm doing the star seeds reading, so I'm just going to shut the camera off really quick and switch out the battery so that it doesn't die, like, you know, when I'm talking and I don't realize it. So 1 second. All right, so where were we? Okay, so Intuition Mentor, and Manifestations Mentor. Oh my gosh, this could not be more perfect for the story that's already coming through. So a lot of the things you've been going through in your life, like up to this point, has been preparing you for the great awakening that's taking place through 2020 as we move through this 444 portal. And with Intuition Mentor and Manifestations Mentor, a lot of the challenges, the life lessons, the soul lessons that you've been going through, which have brought you a lot of sadness, okay, was to prepare you for this time, because you're going to be like a step ahead of everybody else. You're spiritually gifted, and your intuition is receiving an activation or an upgrade through this portal, as well as this Manifestations Mentor. This is energy of where you are able to manifest and control and understand energy in a much, much different way. So these two mentors coming out tells me you've been through a lot of like emotionally based lessons, and over here, like, this is life lessons. And the people that, you know, showed you these lessons or helped you learn these lessons, you know, Manifestations Mentor, this is not usually somebody that's going to cause you heartache and pain, but this could be somebody who's just very cold, very distant, very aloof. You could admire them greatly. They usually have accomplished a great deal in their lifetime, but, you know, they just might be unrelatable just because of their very rigid energy and thinking, and it's like black and white. And then this you know, these connections through the Intuition Mentor could be people that really took you on an emotional roller coaster and confused you and damaged you emotionally. And at the time, again, you're feeling like, oh, you know, this is bad. Why is this happening? This hurts, all these things. And now through this 444 portal, you're looking back and you're realizing that the relationships that you felt hurt you and harmed you were actually the things that mentored you and shaped you and changed you and allowed you to move into this expansion and come into this great awakening. And it takes a lot of emotional maturity and spiritual growth and strength to come into that realization. So as that's happening to you, pat yourself on the back and know you have done a ton of work this life journey to get to this point, to have this realization, to be a part of this awakening. And really always trust your intuition. I could see some of these connections and experiences that caused you a lot of pain. It stuck with you. It could have thrown your intuition off, where you just weren't feeling super connected in. That's all changing. 9 of intuition, that's perfect alignment. Perfect alignment between mind, heart, and soul. So the information that you're going to be getting is going to be spot on, and also a very polishing to some spiritual gifts that you already have and are aware of. And some of you, this is like the awakening to that spiritual gift within you. It's meant to come out now because it's going to be very relevant for your life journey moving forward. And with the 5 of intuition coming through, many of you signed up for emotional life lessons, soul lessons, to really understand and learn and perceive, because I really get the sense that the emotional stuff and experiences, like, that's where the crazy growth comes into play. So that's why some of you have really gone through some heavy stuff here. I mean, we've got 2 mentors coming through. So Saturn has been working on you, okay, preparing you for this beautiful awakening that's taking place now. And you being one of the light bearers through these next 6 years, as we go through major twists and changes, and all kinds of stuff's going to happen. But you're meant to be a light bearer and defend what is dear to you. This is you becoming very empowered within yourself, okay? After you have this expansion of consciousness through the great awakening of everything you've been through, you're maturing on all levels, and you're just going to feel so much like more comfortable in your skin and who you are and why you're here and what life is all about. And you are going to be a light bearer for many. So let's pull some tarot and clarify these a bit further. Seven of Swords, futility. Yeah, some of you have really been struggling with your intuition or your spiritual gifts, but that's going to really even out as we move through this portal, okay? It's just because there's a lot of changing. Saturn just moved into Aquarius, so you've got to, recalibrate, readjust your antenna to those new energies of where Saturn's at, because Saturn really gives us a lot of information. Saturn's the greatest teacher that we will ever have, and Saturn's job is to ensure we receive the soul evolution that we signed up for this lifetime. Saturn doing its job. And so I feel as Saturn, because Saturn will go retrograde and back into Capricorn starting May till September. But, between then and now, or now and then, I should say, you're getting familiar with these new energies, these new light codes that Saturn is sending to you, okay? Because it's to create this great awakening for all. Next is the 7 of Discs, and this is failure, and this is coming out under this 5 of intuition, where again, you guys signed up for a lot of life lessons that were going to touch you deeply in the emotional body. And so Spirit is acknowledging that and not wanting you to be weary or lose heart or feel like the world is against you, or that you don't matter, that you are not loved, because that's not the truth at all. You've just had a heavy assignment load, over the past several years, or maybe your whole lifetime up to this point, just depending on your age and your life journey and all of those things. But it was all part of the plan for your great awakening, and what you transform into and what you ultimately become will be worth every step that you took towards that final goal, that final destination. And Spirit just wants you to trust the process and is acknowledging what you've been through and wants you to know that you are very loved and you are not alone. The angels are with you, but some of you have been you signed up for some big stuff because you wanted to evolve and expand in major ways this lifetime. Under the 8 of Lessons, yep, look at that adjustment, which would be justice. And this is the Great Awakening. You know, these next 3 years and the preparation of the purge as Saturn moves through Pisces and all the corruption of the system, like exposure and paradigms being torn down. Okay, there's a lot that's going to change, and it's here's Spirit saying, yep, it's time for that. All right, it's time for evolution. It's time for the Great Awakening. It's time for the Aquarian energies to come into the earth plane, because, you know, you've incarnated throughout several ages of, you know, just human history here. And I believe 100% in reincarnation. And this is just letting you know that, you know, the Pisces energy and age had purpose for human evolution, but it's no longer relevant. It's no longer conducive for the growth of mankind. So it's time for that age to sweep out and our new. It's like, you know, think of it this way, going from graduating as a senior in high school, you know, leaving the Pisces age, the senior in high school, going into college, Aquarian age, and it's just like a whole different environment, really. And I'm just using that as an example for you to understand, but the awareness that's going to take place over this next 6 years, and just the way people are going to change and wake up and see things and take a stand and stand up for what they believe in and really fight, because they're going to be receiving these light codes of the Aquarian age. It's time for that to really be ushered in. There are some forces that have been trying to prevent the Aquarian age from coming in full force, but it's, you know, you cannot defeat the divine, you know, prime creator, the one all that we all come from. You cannot, you can't. I mean, it is what it is. And so many people are having this awakening because this is natural evolution for humanity, and there's just forces that are trying to prevent that, but it doesn't matter. The 4-4 portal is here. We're stepping through. The Great Awakening has begun, and you're going to understand everything you've been through has really just been training leading up to this moment, these next 6 years, as we truly usher in the Aquarian age, and life as we know it on the planet is going to shift and change. We're just going to be in a whole different paradigm. Like, I think... you know, just do a Google search and look at the last time Saturn was in Aries. It's like over, it's not quite, I don't know. I'm getting confused in my head. Just look it up and then think about who you were and what life was like back then, opposed to now, okay? Because as Saturn moves into Aries, that's what's happening. It's a whole new paradigm. It's a whole new big cycle that we're moving into. And Spirit is saying it will be done, even though there are forces. You see that chain around this book. There are forces that try to prevent the evolution from taking place. It doesn't matter. There are forces bigger and stronger that will see to, you know, the proper evolution of humanity right there. Dang, that's deep. Under this intuition mentor, we have the 9 of discs, gain. So see, your intuition mentor within your life to help you become stable, strong on your own, independent, resourceful. Some of you may have had codependency natures. This mentor definitely, the experience, the relationship would break you of that. So this intuition mentor, regardless of what you've been through with that person, this is what it was meant to lead you into, this 9 of discs. Nothing but an energy of gain and strength, independence and abundance. Under Manifestations Mentor, we have the 10 of Cups, which is all about being happy and satisfied. So these mentors here that you've experienced, everything that they taught you or put you through was ultimately the stepping stones you need to find the ultimate happiness within yourself, you know? And that might not seem like much, but there are more people in this world that don't know how to be in their own energy and be alone than people who are totally comfortable and fine on their own. And I will tell you, I used to be one of those people, and I was scared to never be without a boyfriend and all those things. And then life happened, and dark night of the soul came, and then I was alone for a long time, and now I'm like, I kind of prefer my own energy, actually. I like my energy. And so some of you are coming into that as well, where, you know, just depending on your childhood and the life that you've had and what you've been through, you may have had some codependency nature like I did. And, you know, just everything you've been through, stepping through this portal, you're going to really learn to love your own energy and be comfortable in your own energy. And some of you are already there, obviously. All right, let's pull some cards here, because we do see, we did have one fly out, but we do see, you know, talk of spiritual gifts and intuition. So I just want to go a little deeper with that. And look at what flew out. Forgive it all. And you know where that comes into play? The mentors and the lessons and the pain that it brought. Because you are truly, as you go through this great awakening, it's truly putting you in the best energy, position, and place that you've ever been in your life, mentally, emotionally, physically, materially, you name it, all right, with the 9 of Discs and the 10 of Cups. So that is why Spirit says, forgive it all. Don't be in a prison with anger and lack of forgiveness. Allow yourself to transform into the butterfly and be free of all of that, because you are headed to bigger and better things up ahead for sure. All right, let's see what comes out. So we have spiritual lessons. So many of you have been working on a lot of spiritual lessons. We've already established that through this reading, but Spirit wants to reconfirm that, because some of you I know have probably been through some really heavy stuff that, you know, is just unspeakable. And the angels, the archangels, want to help you move through that, the healing process of that, because again, you are here to be part of this great awakening, to hold these light codes and help anchor them down, be the light bearer, you know, through this crazy time that's ahead of us. And a lot of what you went through was your training, your spiritual training, your life lessons, so that you could mentally, emotionally, and spiritually evolve to the point to be that light bearer. Next is, you are very protected. Yes, no matter what you've been through, the angels have never forsaken you. You've never been walking this journey alone. Some of you guys just signed up for a lot, okay? And lastly, we have symbolism. So symbolism is a way that you will be activated and triggered, you know, different signs, you know, there's a lot of different like symbols and things like that. You will all be drawn into different type of symbolism. But for those of you that really do feel that pull, follow it all the way through. Even if you're staring at it and you're like, I don't feel anything, nothing's happening. Your subconscious mind is being activated, okay? So there's going to be a lot of information coming to you guys through symbolism, and the one that most of you probably recognize the most is numbers. And then this is the 444 portal, and there is a very deep and rich description about that number and its energy in the description box below, which I feel coincides perfectly with that card there. I just want to pull some more cards on this. I feel like there's more to this. Self-discovery, yeah. So you're gonna start remembering the past differently. You see that butterfly there? You are transforming. The prophet. Ooh, see, many of you are psychic. You have great insights about things that are to come, all right? And don't discount yourself. Those of you really feeling that calling, it's time to expand that gift. And some of you, these mentors are what led you into this fully activating within you. But the prophet, yes, many of you are psychics and you absolutely see future events. Next is shadow beings. Okay, so right here, this is who I'm talking about. This is what's trying to keep humanity here. Okay, and look at this would actually sit on the void. This is the great purge. This is what's going into the void when Saturn goes into Pisces. Okay, so Spirit just wanted to confirm that. And for you to have no fear, you are very protected and to call upon the angels at all moments through this process. At any point that you may feel afraid, unsure, whatever it is, you call upon them and they will be there like in a flash, okay? Because you're the light bearer and you're part of this great purge to get that energy out of here. Or at least weaken it so it can no longer have a grip on the evolution of humanity's consciousness. Free spirit, celestial teacher, self-worth. You are the light bearer, okay? Those of you that were drawn to this reading and you've made it this far into the reading, you are definitely a light bearer. You are part of the Great Awakening, and it's driving me crazy. I'm sorry, it's glaring. And with the celestial teacher, you are going to be very instrumental in helping others awaken and heal and move through their emotional baggage and understand their life lessons and their spiritual lessons. Okay, so never underestimate yourself because next is this self-worth. And you know, through a lot of your journey and life lessons that you've been going through, you could have lost sight of your value and your worth and feel quite small. And Spirit's like, nope, walking through this portal is going to remind you of your divinity and what it's all about. And you know, here we have the emphasis on the crown chakra, here we have the emphasis on the third eye chakra, and we have the prophet coming through. So many of you, again, psychic, you see the future. You're also very aware of these energies, okay? You may be able to see them. Not everybody, but some of you advanced enough to do so. I don't ever want to. I've made that very clear to Spirit. Sometimes Spirit overrides me. So far, no, I can just sense it, but there is no visuals, not externally nor in my third eye. I don't want that. Don't want to see it. So it's blocked, but I can definitely sense that just through certain things I'm watching or certain people who are talking. And then sometimes, you know, when you're in your own space and you just feel like, what is that? Anytime you feel that kind of, ooh, what is that? Call upon the angels. They will come in. They will protect you. You are a powerful being. You don't need that protection. And you're going to discover that more and more, that you are just as able and capable of protecting your energy field. But for those of you that, you know, do get a little spooked or scared or, you know, experience something completely new that you never had before, call upon the angels. They will come in. And right here, free spirit, see, you are the light bearer. You are meant to help purge this the collective of man and help allow that transformation and evolution to take place. And 13 would be a number 4, right? The free spirit, the light bearer, which is you. Ooh, okay, so that is the reading for the 444 portal. Like I said, check out that description about the number 4 below. I've also left an affiliate, my Amazon affiliate link for the actual book if you want to buy the book and, read about the other numbers. It's very interesting. I've never read anything like it in any other books. Maybe you have. I don't know. But for me, it was new information, and Spirit led me to it right before I was going to do this reading, which is just a beautiful synchronicity. It's the Great Awakening, and the next 6 years are going to be crazy, but you're coming into your knowing now. You're having a great awakening. Even if you already had an awakening, there's a bigger expansion to that, and you're going to really start seeing your past from a new perspective. Okay, so those are your messages. I'm sending everybody lots of love and light. Take care.